this is one of the things I love about the Celica. Good morning and welcome to my 1982 Toyota Celica GTS. This is a really special car to me because this is the car that got me back into cars after having been out of cars for so long. I was really into cars as a teenager. I had a Mazda 323 GTX, turbo all-wheel drive rally car. Went to auto tech school, but then I started my wine wholesale company and I just got, had no time, got totally out of it. Didn't want to work on other people's cars. So, that brings me to this thing. So 6 years ago, I was driving around and I saw this on the side of the road and it blew me away. The body is designed by Giugiaro, same Italian coach builder that did like the Alfa GTV6, stuff like that. So really aggressive, low wedge body shape. But it looked immaculate and I thought it must be really expensive, so I didn't even stop. Then I saw it driving in traffic a week later, and I pulled up, saw the for sale sign on it, and that the asking price was only $3,200, which seemed crazy to me. So, took it for a test drive, took it to my mechanic, actually asked my mechanic to try and talk me out of buying it, but, we drove it around and he was like, this is great. You've got to buy this car. So I talked the seller down, bought it, and immediately set about making it what I felt like it should have been. The seller was actually the original owner. He bought it brand new back in '82 in Ottawa. It's a Canadian car, and he kept it completely original, in great shape. It had 50,000 miles on it. And I immediately threw that all out the window because I imagined that it had been designed by some little elderly Japanese engineer like 50 years ago. And he'd engineered it as this front engine, rear wheel drive, super simple, like driver's car. But then in coming to America, it was loaded up with all this dumb junk for Americans. This electric sunroof, like adjustable everything, all kinds of cushiony, soft, carpeting, sound dampening junk. So I ripped all that out. So I bought a new head for the car, sent that out, had it machined for 1mm oversized valves, put a high lift cam in it, long tube headers on it, new sequential carburetor. I also got rid of the original wheels, which looked really cool, but you couldn't get modern tires to fit them. So I got these awesome Panda Sport replicas from Koenig. Now I have modern high performance tires on them. That made a huge difference to the car. It's still really lightweight, and I can spin the tires pretty much on demand. It's super controllable. I can come out of like an intersection and just kind of drift it out sideways. But it's totally like easy, smooth. Like catch it, reel it back in. There's no traction control, no ABS. I love how tactile and immediate the car is. Originally it had about 100 horsepower. With all the stuff that I've done to the motor, now it should be making about 150. It's on King Motorsports lowering springs. They're stiffer. I got them from Australia, Takiko gas struts. And it's got a lightened flywheel in it. It's half the weight of the original and has a more aggressive clutch. So all of that together really wake the car up, make it more immediate. The motor, the 22R, was originally, as I understand it, engineered as a forklift engine. And then Toyota ended up putting it in all of their trucks. They put it in everything. So it redlines at 5,500 RPM. It's not a performance motor, but it has tons of torque. It's really like responsive down low. So it's a great like driving around town, like, off the line kind of motor. And with how light the car is and how low it's geared, like it's really exciting to drive. It's a lot of fun. What's weird about this car is that it's a GTS, and what made the GTSs were that they had independent rear suspension and electronic fuel injection. But for the first few months that Toyota made this car, they didn't have all of that together yet. So the first few months they made GTSs with a solid rear axle and a carbureted 22R, and that is one of those cars. So it's actually a very rare kind of package. The live rear axle does move around more under like hard cornering acceleration, but it's bomb-proof. It's a great like mechanical tool to go out and like drive really hard in. So that's what I love about this car. I love that this is a 35-year-old car with a Toyota truck drivetrain in it. On paper, it shouldn't be this good. Like, it should not be a fun car to drive. But then you get in it and you drive it around, and it's so satisfying. It's so tactile, so well balanced. It's so playful. You have to drive it well to drive it fast. You have to like really pay attention, be engaged. You have to rev match when you downshift, otherwise you'll break traction in the rear, the car will rotate. I love that there's nothing fake about this car. There's no electronic aids. You just, like, it is what it is. And if you want to drive it hard, it's all on you to pull that off. So this is more fun to drive around than my Psycho 400 horsepower WRX, than my super focused, stripped out Miata. This is just the best.